audible? All right, sir. So let us get started. Okay. Wonderful. Right. So let us quickly get into what we have discussed in the last class, and then we will try to identify what is that we'll be doing now. So in the last class, I think we have gone into the SQL servers and Cosmos DBs. How do you take backups and how do you basically uh, do disaster recoveries? And then we have made a note of all of that. And then we have looked into one service which has been newly introduced in Azure, which is called as a Bastion. Okay, so these were the couple of things which we have discussed in our last class, right? Where we have seen how Bastion is basically working on, right? Now, what we'll do is we'll go into the next service of Azure, which will help us to see what is happening with respect to the performance of your applications, what is happening with respect to the different infrastructure what you have created and all of that stuff. So I'll be calling this as Azure Monitor. Okay, Azure Monitoring is monitoring service provided by Azure. Okay, which helps in, okay, collecting, analyzing, and acting on, I'll not write telemetry, I'll write monitoring information collected from Azure as well as on-premises workloads. So Azure Monitoring is a monitoring service which has been basically designed or created so that you can collect, analyze, okay, collect, view, analyze, helps in viewing, okay. So where you can try to do different kinds of dashboardings and all of that stuff, okay, right. So basically there are many different activities which come into play, but there is one important image which we cannot separate Azure monitoring with. So let me go with Azure monitor. Yes. Open image in new tab. Good. So if you look at this image tells the whole story. Okay, so right now whenever you look at Azure Monitor is a very wide solution. It gives various kinds of solutions, right? So these are the places from where we collect the data. You can collect the data from application, operating system, resources, subscriptions, tenants, and you can write your custom sources. And inside Azure Monitor there are two kinds of repositories. One is for storing metrics, the other one is for storing logs. So the first side of the stuff is collecting data, collecting metrics and collecting logs. And once you have metrics and logs, what are the different things which you can do? You can do something called as insights. You can do something called as visualize. This is viewing the data. You can analyze the data. You can respond. And not only that, you can integrate this with the other applications by logic apps or by export APIs, right? So we'll be looking into something called as Azure functions when we look into dev activities. But this is a very comprehensive kind of monitoring platform. Okay, so it has literally everything what you need. Okay, so let me give this image as reference. We cannot separate this one out. Okay, so fine. Now what I'll do is I'll copy this image. Okay, so right, so what are all these things? These are all the different things where we collect that data. Okay, where we collect the data from. These are all the sources, okay, where we store the data. Oh, sorry. Okay, this is where we store the data, and this is what we can do with the data. Okay, I know this image. I'm just trying to show you the basic picture around it. So what we can do with respect to storing the data, collect the data, and do with the data. These are the three areas. Okay, so this is the places where you can collect. This is what you store, and this is what you can basically do. Right. Okay, so what we would do is we would try to understand what are the different kinds of things which we can do. Okay, let us start with simple stuff. Okay, and then we will get into all of the different aspects, so the first thing which I want to basically do is let us try to, okay, monitor a simple resource with azure with Azure Monitor. Okay, right. So the simplest resource possibly what we can think of is virtual machines. What we can think of is virtual machines. Okay, so monitoring Azure virtual machines. Okay, so in Azure virtual machines, what are the different things which we can basically monitor? So I'm quite sure that everyone has a virtual machine with you. Okay, I didn't have and I tried to create it. So do you have virtual machines? We have one Windows virtual machine and one Linux machine along with you, so that you can work along with me and then we can have this activity finished. Guys, do we have virtual machine with you? Right. So if you go into this overview section, okay, so I'll not have any screenshots, but if you go into this overview section, in this overview section you would be seeing some of the graphs. Okay, so where are these graphs coming from? These graphs are actually coming from your Azure monitoring itself. So your Azure is already monitoring what is your CPU looking like, what is your network looking like. Okay, and they have something called as monitoring insights. Okay, so shall we get started with that? Okay, now in this, if you scroll down, you would be seeing a blade in your virtual machine. Okay, a monitoring blade. Okay, right. So in monitoring, you can basically, there are different things which we can do, but let me click on insights. Let me click on insights. Okay, so let me take a screenshot of this first. Okay, Azure operations. Okay, I'll not be writing any content. I'll rather go with images dot slash images slash azop 39 if I'm not wrong. Yes, 39.png. Right. So now, if you basically get into this insights page, if you get into insights page, you will have these options. Now, if you scroll down, there is one section which says that, do you want to enable insights? Do you want to enable insights? Now, if you're basically, whenever you want to enable these insights, you can say that, yeah, I want to enable the insights. And whenever you enable insights, it is trying to tell that I would be basically creating an log analytics workspace. Okay, see, understand this stuff. Log analytics workspace. Okay, so this is where all of your data will be stored, right? This is basically where all of your data is getting collected. Right now it is trying to tell that you want to collect the data, you want to get insights, but unfortunately you don't have log analytics workspace. If you have log analytics workspace, then possibly you can go ahead and then use the same stuff. But right now, since we don't have it, you are getting these options. Okay, so I'm okay with this. My machine is in East US and it is creating a default workspace in East US. I'm absolutely fine with that. So I basically go ahead and then say enable. This process takes a time, so please do this. Okay, so here it is, these topics, these are not difficult things, but actually these are very time taking activities. Okay, so no. Then navigate to, please do the activities. Navigate to the VM and then the overview section. We see some graphs. Sorry. Navigate to monitoring, insights, and enable, and create a log analytics workspace. Okay, for logs we need some kind of a workspace, and that is basically getting stored. Okay, right. Okay, this will take time, guys. So okay, these this data can be collected for on-premise Linux and Windows machines as well. So if your company wants to use analytics for Linux and Windows machine, okay, then I think I'll be giving you links. Okay, so from there you can basically do it. So you have to do some downloads in the existing stuff. But first, let us wait for this to be finished. Good. So now it is basically being done. Now let us get into the resource group to see what has happened. So in this resource group, okay, it says that it has basically created it. But let me get into all the other resource groups. Okay. So there is something called as default resource group VUS. Let us see what has happened over here. Sorry, saying. Okay. So there are two resources that are basically created. One is Log Analytics Workspace. The other one is VM Insight Solution. So these are the things that get used whenever you would basically, whenever you want to use the virtual machines. So after creation, okay, wait for the insights to be enabled. Okay, right. So if you get into this VM Insight Solution, okay, so this is where you will be getting your virtual machine in what do you call virtual machines insights. Okay, so this stuff will take time for the data to be generated, but the whole point is workspace data sources. What are the data sources for workspace? Okay, so you have virtual machines. It says that Qt web is connected, but Qt app is not connected. So you can go over here, okay, and from here also you can connect. Okay, so for example, I can basically click on connect from here, and then okay, rather than going into that virtual machine, it might try to connect it from here. Okay, right. But understand one thing, this will try to show you the information of the virtual machine which are in the same region. Okay, right. Now let me go back to the Qt web where the insights are already present, and then let me get into insights. Okay, right. So now if you basically look into it, it is trying to tell your whole insight, saying that you have two clients, okay, which basically are connected to Qt web, and in Qt web there are 20 processes that are running. Okay, so whatever those processes are, and then it tries to tell that this is the whole map of whatever you're trying to do, and when you look at performance here, if you look at, you have two things. One is it will give you a map, the other one is it will give you the performance, map and performance. So now map and performance. Okay, now let me get into Azure Monitor. Okay. So if you basically come into this area, are you seeing there is a whole legend? It tries to give you the 1 minute Azure monitor. All right. Okay. Now in monitor, you are getting various different sections saying that what are the alerts which you got. Okay. What are the different connections which you have. Okay. What is the whole performance information which you have. Okay. So now if you look into this data, you have almost all the settings. So for example, if you look into this, here you are getting different graphs. Here you are getting different graphs. Okay. So are you seeing the Azure section and are you seeing the hybrid section? Whenever you're working with what do you call on-premises stuff, you might be using at hybrid section. Now let me look at workbooks. Okay. Let us just explore all of this stuff. Okay. So now here it is trying to tell that I didn't collected any metrics with respect to basically no counters were detected. Okay. So if I have counters, I can tell you the metrics. That is what it is trying to tell at least at this moment. Okay. Now if you see there is some changes in the UI that are popping up. Okay. Let the counters be loaded. Now you have the following counters now. So what is the available memory that is present? What is the free disk space? Okay, what is your computer's heartbeat? How is your network looking like? So these are all the performance metrics where you get all of this. So for example, let me go with CPU utilization. Okay, so it is trying to tell that your CPU utilization is very less. Your CPU utilization is very less. Okay, now let me come back to. So what I'm trying to tell is from here you can basically play around with this data. Okay. Now let me get into Qt web. Okay. So I've done basically log monitoring or insights for what do you call Windows machine. So what I would want is I want you to basically do the same stuff for uh, Linux machine also. So first let me log in into this. Right. Okay. So I'm just opening this server. Okay. Okay. Okay, are you seeing this internet enhanced security configuration? I'm disabling this because if you have this, right, so this machine will be it will be very difficult for you to browse from here. Okay, I'll be doing some activity over here, so let it become off. Okay, so it is off. Now what I'll do is, don't worry, it can be any activity. Right now I'm doing an activity, just a very simple activity. Okay, okay, let me go to, okay, so I'll be installing something called as Chocolatey. Don't worry about this. Why am I doing this? Right? So I'm doing this because we will be using this machine. Okay, all right. So and right now I'm opening PowerShell and I'm running this as administrator. So what I'm doing right now is not really relevant. Okay, okay. I'll be giving you that link money. First, let us do this. Okay, all right. Now let me launch PowerShell again. I'm just installing something. Okay, so chocolate is not found. That's it. Okay. I don't want to install line by line, man. That's the reason why I'll do one thing. Okay. So I've done some activity on this machine. Okay, let it whatever it is. Are you seeing there is some impact in performance? There was again a spike. Okay. So I've done some network activity. So that's the reason why you are seeing there is an increase in network. Okay. I was executing some of the activities. So there was some disk read and write that was happening. And now if I go into insights, it will give you the better view of exactly what has happened. Okay, so you can basically do this, and at any moment you can run diagnostics. At any moment you can run diagnostics, and if you want, you can install performance diagnostics. Right. So this will give you more information about your machine. Okay, but right now I'm not doing all of that. Okay, but the whole idea is you there is no need for you to log in into machine for whatever activities which you are trying to basically do. You can do some kind of alerting or some kind of viewing the data. Now, the next thing that is important is, yeah, you have the data now. Okay. So when something goes wrong, you want to inform to the user, right? So the next important tab for us is, okay. This I'll give you at the last. How do you monitor the on-premises machines? Okay. Right. So look at metrics. So what is metrics? Metric is nothing but an individual unit of data that is basically collected. Okay. So for example, this is very much required metrics. Okay. All right. Or two, and then get into metrics. So over here, if you look into the metrics, these are all the different metrics which I have. But understand one thing, the metrics might be slightly different. Okay, web is a Windows machine. Now I'm selecting a Linux machine. In Linux machine, let me click on Insights. Okay, so it is still not enabled. Let me click on Enable. Okay, so Insights are getting deployed. And while Insights are getting deployed, let me click on Metrics. Now, if you look into the metrics, there might be slight difference in the metrics which you see in Linux machine. There will be certain things that are added, and there will be certain things which are different. Okay, but at any point, whether whatever the data which you want to basically do, for example, I try to create a graph called as percentage CPU. Okay, so it says that percentage CPU right now is 6%. Okay, and whatever you have asked for is you have asked for average. You have asked for average. You can tell that, "Oh, I don't want average, I want a maximum." So the maximum CPU utilization has gone to 20% at a max. Okay, right? So generally people go with average. Okay, or if you don't like the CPU utilization, you can go with some other metric. So for example, a disk read operations. Okay, and add a new metric saying disk write operations. Okay, so disk read operations and disk write operations. So we didn't have much of disk write operations actually. Okay, uh, 1 minute, 1 minute. Let us, yeah. So if you want, you can add a metric over here. This is basically very easy to set up. Okay, so once you have this setup, what you can do is from here itself you can get into the logs. From here itself you can get into the logs. Are you seeing the timestamp? So according to this timestamp, you can see into the logs what are the different activities that have happened on this machine. So let us see what has happened. Okay, so these are the different activities that were basically performed. Okay, this is a basic idea, basic kind of metrics, but you can go and enable deeper ones also. So for example, you can enable all kinds of different metrics around it. Okay, if you want, you can add a new graph where you are trying to tell, okay, let me put CPU credits consumed, and let me add one more metric, CPU credits remaining. Okay, so there is some kind of a graph which I got. Okay, let me add one more chat. Okay, so this time I'll go with percentage CPU. Okay, so are seeing percentage CPU, and now I'll try to tell that whenever percentage CPU is greater than certain thing, I want to send an email to my admin team. I want to send an email to my admin team. Okay, so metric is basically where you have data, and once you have this data, then what you can basically do is you can raise alerts. Okay, which is you can send a notification to your admin team, send a notification to your dev team when something is improper. Okay, so that is very simple. For that, you would basically look into the now create an alert when percentage CPU is greater than 70 percentage for 5 minutes. Now what is that you need to do? You need to go into the alerts. Okay, let the UI be populated, then I'll right. Okay, right. So get into alerts and then use this new alert rule. So let me click on this. Okay, so 44. Okay, So now I'll be going over here and then trying to tell that I want to create a new alert. I've said what is my condition. So your condition can be anything. Your condition can be anything. Okay. So now what is the resource? My resource is this. What is your condition? Okay. My condition is whenever. Okay. Using percentage CPU. Okay. So okay. This is a overall period, chart period. That's fine. Whenever the percentage CPU, okay, we have two kinds of thresholds. One is static threshold, which is basically the user defined value, or dynamic threshold is if you want to use Microsoft's intelligence. Okay. So greater than 70 percentage. Okay. For 5 minutes. For 5 minutes. You can go with more than this also. Okay. And then when do you evaluate this? You evaluate every minute. That is what I've written, right? 70 or 75? 70. Yeah. So now this is my next step. Okay. So whenever percentage CPU is statically greater than 70 percentage for average period of 5 minutes. For an average period of 5 minutes, then I'll be basically putting this condition. Okay. So you can put all of this at one place. That is something which you will look into. But let us do basic stuff today. So let me click on done. Okay. So scope is what is the resource? Scope will try to tell you on which resource you are trying to look into this metric. Condition will try to tell when you should raise an alert. When you should raise an alert. Okay. So and then action group. So what is that you want to do? So I would say try to tell that I want to select an action group. So I would try to tell that I would create an action group. Okay. So this is simple. I'll not be putting a screenshot for this. You can easily do this. Action group is very simple. Okay. Action group, I'll call it as notify via email. Okay. Email. And then what is the unique name and are using action type? In action type, okay. Let me have a screenshot. Right. You can send an action to Azure function. You can send an action to various different things. These are the different kinds of actions which we can basically do. Okay. But right now I'm interested in email. So I'll be using only email for this whole stuff. I want to send an email. Okay. So, but in reality, you can do much more than emails. Okay. You can send a notification to the code also. Right. So I'll try to select email. And then here, then it asks, okay, you want to send a notification to the email, select email. What is your email which you want to send? I want to send an email. Okay. So for email, basically you will not have too much of charges, but if you select SMS, it will be a lot of charges. But if you are having a mobile application, mobile app, then you can enable push notifications also. Push notifications are the notifications which you get on your mobile phones. When some friend request comes in Facebook, when someone sends you a text on WhatsApp, you get that alert, right? So that notification is basically called as a push notification. Okay. So if your application has that kind of capabilities, you can basically create a push notification also. Now let me click on OK. Okay. So then it is asking what is your actions name. My actions name is my mail. All right. Let me click on OK. Now I have basically tried to tell you this. So scope is where the activity is happening. Condition is when should this uh, when you should do something. So what is the error state which you are trying to think of, or what is the state which you want to basically watch out for? And then when that happens, what is that you want to do? Okay, so this is where you select an action group. Oh, selection has not happened over here. All right, strange. Okay, so you select an action group. Okay, then you try to tell the alert. Okay, notify. Okay, uh, warning state. Okay, severity. So basically you can severity is the more the less the severity, it is a more priority. What basically is trying to tell us, okay, if you say severity 0, it might be critical for you. Okay, severity 4 is the least priority for you. So while raising this alert, you are trying to set some severity levels, right? Some companies do worry about the severities, right? Or if you want to have some kind of distinction saying that, okay, I am any severity rule value 0 should be utmost priority, then for those kind of stuff, uh, Microsoft has added this. Okay, so if you don't utilize that value also, it is fine. So alert is an alert, it doesn't matter, right? So we have an action group selected, we have all of these alerts selected. Okay, and then create an alert rule. Okay, so I'll make it as 40. Let me click on create alert rule. That's it, your alert is created. Okay, so whenever your CPU utilization is greater than 70 percentage for the period of 5 minutes, you will get a mail. Okay, you can create one more alert. This is for you to receive the email because your CPU utilization might not be greater than 75 percentage. You can add a new alert rule. Okay, so select a condition. So this time also you go with percentage CPU. Okay, but don't go with greater than 70 percentage. Put it as less than 70. Okay, less than or equals to, I'm just putting it as 50. Okay, so done. Okay, select an action group. I really don't want a new action group now. I can go with the same action group whatever I have. Okay, so this action group I have written it as notify via email, but you can put that as admin. Action group could be admin, and you can add all the email IDs of your admins. Okay, so I'm just showing you once again, right? So generally in your organizations you will have this action groups with your team names, with your team names. So administrators. Okay, admin or cloud admin, whatever it is, right? So in cloud admin, select email. Okay, then you have to give your email ID. Oh, sorry. Okay, right. So email, I'll give different email, right? So now if you want, you can add one more email address also. Okay, action. Right. Now here also I'll select one more email. So this time it is a different email address. Okay, right. So if you create an action group once, you can use it as many times as you want. Okay, right. So let me click on okay. And generally we can create this action groups, make it ready per team. Okay. Now select an action group. I have selected an action group which is admins. Okay. So you can select as many action groups as you want, but generally we'll send it for one action group at a time. Okay. So let me go ahead. and close this. Okay, right. Now what is your alert rule name? Okay, less CPU used. Okay, severity is 2, and I'll click on create alert rule. Okay, right. So now take some time, and after some time you can basically look into if you have any alerts. Okay, all of those alerts will be shown over there. All of those alerts will be shown over there. Okay, so now it is trying to tell that you don't have any alerts, everything is going good so far. Okay, it will take some time for you to basically look into the whole stuff, right? Now once you have any alert, it will try to tell you when that alert has happened, and you would receive an email. You put your email ID over there and you will get your email address. Okay, so now 44 to 47, right? So exercise, create alerts for Azure SQL database for any metric. This is an exercise for you. Okay, since you have an Azure SQL server, try to create an Azure SQL alert for any metric of your choice. It can be CPU utilization, it can be free disk space, it can be whatever it is. Okay, right. Now let me show you the Azure monitoring. Right. So Azure monitoring. This is Microsoft's documentation. Right. Yeah. So if it is basically on-premises machine, okay, what are the different steps which you need to do? I'll basically quickly walk you through that, but the whole point is let us try to basically paste this stuff. Okay. Now, if you look into Windows, what they basically do is they go into Log Analytics workspace. Okay. From Log Analytics workspace, they basically take copy the values of workspace ID and primary key. You have all the steps, and then you install your agent in your Windows server, which is in your office, and then you give workspace ID and workspace key, and then the data will be collected into the whole stuff. So that is what you are seeing over here. In the same way, in Linux machine also, you will try to make a note of workspace ID and workspace key. Okay, and then install an agent. Okay, so once you install an agent in here, you have to give the workspace ID. Okay, so you have to follow exactly these commands, and here you have to give workspace ID and workspace. If you want to basically do this monitoring for from on-premise machines. If it is in Azure, you really don't need to do anything. You just need to go and enable insights. Enable insights. All right. Okay. So one more thing. Okay. Monitoring applications from code is also available. Okay. So I'm just giving you a documentation links. Okay. So if you come from dev background, look into that. Otherwise, it's okay. I'll give you .NET. I'll give you Node.js. Okay. Okay. So if you go into .NET, what is he asking you to do is, okay, in .NET you can enable your application insights by following this documentation. All right. If you are a developer who come from .NET, The only thing which you have to do is you have to create an app configuration. Okay. There is a whole set of stuffs over here, but I'm giving you two popularly used scenarios. Okay. Node.js. Okay. So if it is Node.js application, then what you do is, okay, sorry, saying you configure app inside SDK and you use this in your code. You use this in your code. I'm not showing this, and I have little bit of trouble showing this because if you come from non-programming background, all of this might sound like, okay, why do I need to look into all of this? Yeah, there is no need for you to look into all of this, but the whole point is, okay, so you can enable your application insights from anywhere. So from directly HTML. So if you are basically looking into this is nothing but a straight away JavaScript. Okay, so any web application. Okay, because here you have kind of a metric which basically comes from the stuff. Now what happens whenever you are trying to execute the code? Okay, whenever your code is running and your customers are using your application, you are collecting metrics. You are collecting the data from your applications directly from code. Okay, so this is the activity which will help your dev teams. Okay, but the whole idea is your dev team should have already done it. You don't do this as an administrator, you will never do this, but as a developer you will do this. As an architect you will suggest this. As an architect you will suggest this. That's the basic idea of this whole stuff. Okay, right. This will take at least a few more time, and it will take at least 10 minutes for us to find out what has happened. Okay, so since this there are certain deployments still in progress. Okay, right. Now if you go into overview, okay, you will see certain metrics over here, and it is very easy for you to basically do. And at any point, are you seeing this pin symbol? So if you basically pin this, what happens is in here there is a dashboard. Okay, so are you seeing there are some graphs which are pinned right now? This is what we have pinned now. Okay, so remove from dashboard. Earlier this was used quite regularly, but now Microsoft has somehow gone away from that. Okay, but still there are some people who still use this dashboard. Okay, so we generally start with home section, but there are some people who rely on dashboard. Okay, right. So you can, whatever graphs which you have, you can pin to this dashboard also. You can pin to this dashboard also, right? Okay, and later on the dashboard can be shared onto any monitor which you have in your organization and all of that stuff. Okay, guys. So can we raise alerts now on what? On metrics. Okay, so what is a metric? Metric is a unit that is collected from your Azure monitor, which tries to tell uh, something about any service. Okay, and if you go into any resource in Azure, so let me go into any resource in Azure. Okay, even at a resource group level, there are monitors and alerts which you can basically place. Okay, there are logs which you can look into. This monitoring is available for literally all the resources. Right now I'm in resource groups. Okay, so I'll go into virtual network. Okay, so for virtual network also, okay, there will be certain monitorings. Okay, you might not see the exact same stuff, but you will be seeing some kind of monitoring. Okay, so there is something called as connection monitor. Okay, so this connection monitor will tell you for this virtual network what are the different connections that are available at this moment. Okay, so all right, there is something called as network watcher. We need to look into all of this. And then there is something called as diagram. This is a network diagram. Okay, right. So it says that you have Qt commerce in which you have three subnets. In this three subnets, in web subnets, you have one network interface which is connected to a machine called as Qt web, and you have public IP address. And for both the machines, you are using the same network security group, right? So that is basically what it is, right? And then what are the logs which you have collected? And then there is something called as network watcher. So we will look into this specialized logs. and the query language which is used to do that analytics, in our next class. So for now today, what I want to do is you will have alerts and monitors for various different resources. Please try to create one alert for virtual machine, one alert for Azure SQL database. Okay, and then it is very simple. You will be basically asked to raise alerts, and then for today, just look at email alerts. What are the other kinds of alerts? We will basically look into those aspects and one level deeper into monitoring solution in our next class. Okay, guys. So I'll stop it at that, and we'll basically look into the remaining aspects. But please, I would like to basically look into one of the area. I want you to do this because once you do this, you can finish this activity, because this is not a very what do you call it? Not a very complex activity, but it will be enabled in every deployment which you are going to. So you should know a little bit about this. So and we do monitoring, that is for sure. As an admin, it is our responsibility to understand what is going good and what is going bad. So I would recommend everyone, please go through this section, do this activities whatever I have recommended. If you have done along with me in the class, wonderful, right? So tomorrow we'll get one level a deeper view of the same Azure monitoring, where we try to look into with respect to the monitoring logs that have been collected. If you once you have logs, how can you basically write some queries? Okay, so there is some language which Azure uses, which is called as KQL. Okay, so what is that KQL? We will be looking into all of those details in our next class. Thanks, man. So I think that's what I had for the day. If you have any questions, you can go ahead. Okay, so in the meantime, let me look if I'm okay. Any questions? Okay, right then. So I'll stop it at that, and we'll meet again tomorrow to continue this discussion. Thanks, sir. Thanks for your time.